Can this camera see me? Hello people and people like things. This is Dread, the Blacksmith, coming to you to do stuff. Today I'm going to show you how I made this, the chef's knife. Watch it. First, a small shop tour to show you what's what and explain things. Yeah. Okay, this is my quench tank. It's frozen over from ice. Yeah. This is my forge. Ignore that knife there. That's not the one we're going to be working on. It is, I'm lying. This is my tool rack made out of old chimney pipes. This is my blower. You can see I use a piece of roofing tile to adjust it. I used to have something, but it melted. This is basically the same thing everybody else has, but mine's made of plastic. Here's a good look at the forge. Zoom in. Zoom in. Come on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Here's my table. The top broke off not too long ago. Here's my anvil with the railroad spikes I use to keep my tongs on. There's a bird cage I was supposed to clean. Here's a bunch of swords I haven't finished. Here's my little table I put tea on. Here's my improvised chair that I change out every year. This one rocks. Literally. There's a bucket full of oil. Here's my oil quench tube. This one is full of, well, oil. I use this for things that need to be quenched with oil. There's my scrap pile. Big scrap pile. There's a bird cage. Secret project. This is the burning barrel where I burn garbage for warmth. It's cold, man. And here's a water heater I found recently. Secret project. It's hard to find these things. Scrappers usually grab them, which is why my my scrap pile is so close to my bedroom window, so I can shoot things and try to take my scrap. Step 1. Preparing snacks. I have green tea and a potato. Usually I have an apple, but it's cold and I want something warm to eat. Actually, the real step 2 would be picking the steel. Step 1. Choosing your materials. People often ask me, Dread, what do you make your knives out of? And I say, usually 5160 spring steel to possibly some 1040 to 1090, depending on the type of knife I'm making. And then they stare blankly at me, not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. For this project, we are going to use lawnmower blades. By lawnmower blades, one, zoom in, damn it. One, they're one of my favorite materials to work with. They're strong, they're durable, they're already fairly thin, and basically all you have to do is, dang, that's loud. Basically all you have to do is flatten them out and then form them into a blade shape. You can cut them into a rough shape, which is what I'll be doing here to save time, or you could just sort of form them. You can even fold them over on themselves and do some forge welding. So yeah, lawnmower blade. Step 1, getting your material ready. First, you take your piece of chalk. My chalk is gone. You take your pliers and then you scratch a line. And this is totally the same piece of metal I just showed you. I am not doing several things in a day trying to do some actual work. This video is taking my full consideration. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but the thing's marked now. Where'd my chalk go? Since I haven't found a freaking good angle to put the camera and shoot at the same time, I'm going to do my cutting on the burning pit. And I'm going to shoot from the wet table. I'm gonna put something on so it doesn't get my camera wet. So yeah, I don't do my cutting on the burning barrel. I do it on the table, but there is literally nowhere I can put it where you can see me cutting and be able to actually cut it in any kind of good. So yeah, I'm putting the camera there. Keep in mind this can get very hot. I actually cut it in a thing, in like a line, a groove, and then I get a hammer and then I like break it off at an angle because it saves on the cutting wheel and it's less likely to get things caught and skip around and stuff. And now that we have the thing cut in a completely different pattern and shape from what I showed you, you could even see this thing tucked in the corner over there in the early video. Yes, this is the exact same piece of metal I cut. Yeah, quite. Yeah, now that the blade is roughly cut, I can start to go over its shape and design with you. I basically just cut off the beat up ends that you couldn't see on that piece of metal that is totally this piece of metal and not some kind of television / internet movie type magic dealio. But yeah, and oh look, it automatically flattened itself out. Oh yeah. But you can basically see what I'm going for here. And don't hold your bare hand on a freshly cut piece of metal, because there's always these little slivers that are like freaking needles that will go into your hand. But anyway, you can see where I'm going. I'm going to make a fairly steep curve, and the tip right here will be curved slightly downwards by the time I'm finished. But yeah, so the blade's been flattened magically to a rough flatness so that I can do it. The handle, you can see here, is a bit short for putting a wood handle on, but it gives a lot of finger clearance right here. And basically I'm going to stretch it out like the way the Japanese chef's knives are made. So now to get to the forging. Yay, actual work. This is probably going to be a two-parter. I mean, look at how much time I wasted just cutting the damn thing. My potato is ice cold. See what I do for you people? See what I... Because somebody wanted a freaking light show with the freaking Burn, Cheerios! This ain't got enough light show for ya! Burn. Burn so I can be warm! Freaking cold, man! So freaking cold! Step 2. We're only on step 2. I guess I could break it up with the preparing your material, choosing / preparing your material, then cutting your material, then this. But step 2, lighting the forge. Now, a lot of people wonder, Dread! They call me Dread on the internet. How did... I'm taking this freaking thing off so I talk normal. Dread, how do you light your forge? I use charcoal and tea packets. I drink a lot of freaking green tea, okay? I'm not even gonna hide that. And freakish amount of lighter fluid. And I keep it too close to the burning barrel. There you go. Yep. Yep. And woof. It's burning. You can see it's getting things started. And yeah, it is that loud. You can see I just sort of leave the thing hanging in midair like that. I use that so all I have to do is kick it and it turns off. Yes, I am a professional. I'm just a very weird professional. Warmth! Now, take your coal rake. Let me zoom in a little. Come on. Not again. Take your coal rake and push your coals around the charcoal. Try not to sound like a robot. Robots are not good. Well, I guess some are? I don't know. You can see it's just gonna... Now, you're like, why are you covering up the fire? Well, the air source isn't the air around the fire. It's coming from this pipe here. From this pipe here. So it's heating the coals. And you can see little sparks fly up every now and then. Yeah, there. That means the coals are burning. And they're getting really hot and warm and stuff. And that's where the oxygen is coming. Uh-oh, soot. Yeah. So once the coals start burning charcoal, you'll start to see green, toxic smoke that contains cyanide. If you're doing this inside, please use some sort of vent. Yeah. What's that? You say I'm talking loud? I can't hear you, the blower's running. Now you wait for the coal to catch on fire as the charcoal burns under it. I'm probably going to have to relight this a few times because I'm not doing it right because I'm holding a camera. What do I do in the meantime? Potato. Once you got your forge going, there is nothing that can stop it. The world and everything in it shall be burnt, turned to molten slag and... Wait. That's not exactly correct. Once you got your forge going, and it's going a little hotter than I intend, I mean, just look at the thing burn. So warm. You want to start by putting on more fresh coal, which will create a nice hearty crust that will maintain the heat. Just sprinkle it on.
Poison smoke. Sprinkle it on. I'm a professional. I can do this.
Once you got the thing going and it's kind of going out of control, you want to control your airflow. I use a piece of roofing tile. Better. I used to have a little thing, but it kind of melted. The tea shall remain warm. See how it's like kind of burning everywhere? You actually don't want that. You want it to just burn in a centrally localized area. Otherwise, you're burning excess coal and thus basically burning money. What I do is, what you're supposed to do, anyway, is, take some water out of your quench tank. Hold on a second. Smash the icy barrier preventing you from getting in your quench tank. You take a little bit of water from your quench tank, and then, I don't know if this is too zoomed in, you actually get the coal wet around the edges. Yeah. Now careful, this will shoot up smoke and steam and sparks and all sorts of nasty things. Okay. And then counterintuitively, you turn the blower... Uh-oh, I'm running out of battery power. Then you turn the blower off. You turn your blower off because you don't want too many sparks flying when you first put the thing in. Well, you don't have to. I usually don't, but I'm filming with a camera. I don't want to... Yeah. Well, once your forge is good and hot, has nice red center and stuff, you think about which piece of steel what part of the piece of steel you want to work on first. Now, since this thing is a little thin for its size and what I want to use it for, I'm going to thicken the spine up, the part here to here, and I'm also going to thicken up and stretch out the handle slightly and make sort of an indentation right here, and I'm also going to curve that. So that's the part I'm going to be heating. This is why I have my forge set up like this, because basically it's a lot more customizable. Sure, there are better ways to do it, but this is the way I happen to like to do it, so yeah. Never handle red hot steel, by the way, with your bare hands unless you know absolutely what you're doing and how to hold it and all that jazz. So just take it, stick it on the fire. Probably gonna have to get someone to help me with this. And then, whatever is covered with coal will heat up faster than whatever's not covered with coal. Keep that in mind, because you don't want to melt your piece of metal. Okay, and I'm going to get the blower going again. Once you got your piece heated up, take your wire brush, take your good wire brush, and scrape off all the scale. You scrape all this off because if you hit it with a hammer, it'll fly in your face, and if you pound it into the steel, it will make a lot of dents and pits and stuff that you don't want. So scrape it as much off as you can. By the way, if you don't have a good set of tongs, just use any regular old pliers. And then I'm going to start drawing out the steel. Yep. Basically, you do that by hitting, placing it on your anvil, and then having half of your hammer on the anvil and half of the hammer over there, and then you just go. And then you just work it. It'll try to wrinkle up on you here every now and then, so you just. I'm gonna do some work on this thing, and then I'll show you. Yeah, look at that bird. Got a hot spot right there. I don't want it directly in that hot spot. I want it to soak up heat, not melt. Dang, that's loud. So yeah, you see it's starting to take on the color of the metal. By the way, never look directly into your forge without protective eyewear, like welding goggles or some very good sunglasses, because it will blind you. Believe it or not, this lets out a lot of ultraviolet light, and you could actually get a tan from being near the forge like this all the time. I don't, because I'm just pale. Notice that since the spine is the thing I'm working on, that's the only part I am heating up. Kind of important. And one of the reasons why I burn coal instead of, say, gas. Yeah. You can see I thickened up the spine a little bit. I let this thing cool down so I could get a good look with the camera. Yeah, I wanted to show you something you got to be careful of too before I fixed it without thinking about showing you. You see how there's like kind of a groove here? That's because this spot is thickening up faster than the middle part, so you gotta be careful not to let that get too out of control, or else it'll leave a horrible looking crease down the middle of your blade and here. So yeah, in fact, let me show. You can see it really. Yeah, you can see it really bad right here. I left that so you could look and see I've started to compress the blade. That's the next step. I'll get back to you when I'm done with that, because it's hard to use the camera at the same time you're, you know, blacksmithing, because you need two hands. Be right back. You can see I'm just sort of stretching this over the horn of the anvil. I'm gonna do a lot of cuts of this because it's a really long, drawn out process. Drawing this out, you know, stretching it, drawn out. Yeah. Okay, stop. You can see it's kind of starting to get its final shape. You want this part to be thinner than this part because of the way we're going to put the handle on, which is one of the last steps. I'm going to start working on condensing the blade down a bit, and then I'm going to form the loop, and then we're going to almost be done. Still got a lot of work to do. And now to do something a little bit shocking to some people. It burns! I cooled it off in the quench tank, and now I'm going to be handling it by the, well, handle. This will allow me to better control it as I work on the blade. Yeah.